The howling started at 1:47 a.m. Not every night, every other night, give or take 20 minutes. It was precise enough that Ryan had started noting the time in his phone, building a data set the way engineers do when they encounter a pattern they cannot yet explain. 12 entries over 3 weeks, all between 1:30 and 2:15, all outside the nursery door, all the same low, sustained vocalization. Not a bark, not a cry, something older and more specific than either. His wife Carmen said, "He's lonely. He used to sleep in our room, and now he can't because of the baby." Ryan said, "He's been in the hallway every night for 3 weeks. He was in the bedroom before we moved." Carmen said, "Dogs are adaptable. He's not adapting." Their Siberian Husky was named Storm. He was 3 years old, blue-eyed, mostly white with gray markings across his back, like a topographic map of somewhere mountainous. He was a high-energy dog in a medium-sized house, and they had organized their lives around giving him the exercise and engagement that kept him from expressing himself destructively. He ran 6 miles a day. He had toys. He had a dog door to the yard. He was not lonely in the way that a sedentary dog is lonely. He was something else. Their daughter Ivy was 6 weeks old. Ryan moved a camera to face the hallway outside the nursery after week 2. He wanted to see what Storm was doing between the howls. He expected pacing, restlessness, the behavior of an animal acting out. What he saw was this. Storm would walk to the nursery door and press his nose against the bottom gap. He would stay there for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, breathing slowly, nose working steadily against the inch of space between door and floor. Then he would walk to the end of the hallway, turn, walk back, press his nose to the gap again, repeat. On the nights he howled while standing at the door, nose still pressed to the gap. Ryan showed the footage to Carmen at breakfast. Carmen watched it for a long time. She said, "He smells something." Ryan had been thinking this for a week. He had not said it because he did not know what to do with it. He called their pediatrician that morning. He described Storm's behavior. He said he knew it sounded strange. The pediatrician said she was glad he called and asked him to bring Ivy in that afternoon for a blood draw. She said she wanted to check Ivy's bilirubin levels, which could be elevated in newborns and could go undetected if the yellowing of the skin was subtle in certain light conditions. Ivy's bilirubin was elevated, not at a crisis level, but elevated enough that the pediatrician wanted to begin phototherapy treatment before it rose further. Bilirubin elevation, jaundice, produces a specific chemical compound in breath and sweat that is detectable by the canine olfactory system at concentrations far below what human senses can register. Storm had been detecting it through a closed door, in the dark, for 3 weeks. He had been telling them about it in the only vocabulary available to him, positioning himself at the source of the chemical signal, vocalizing his concern at the hours when the signal was strongest. Ivy spent 2 days under the phototherapy lamp. She came home with better numbers and a slightly orange-tinted hair that is the comedic side effect of the treatment. She was fine. Storm was at the door when they came home. He sniffed Ivy once. He sniffed her a second time. His tail moved slowly, considering. Then he walked to his bed in the living room, circled twice, and lay down. He did not howl again that night, or the night after. Ryan sat on the couch at 1:47 a.m., the time that had been his alarm for 3 weeks, and listened to the house. Storm was breathing in the slow, regular cadence of deep sleep. Carmen was asleep. Ivy was asleep. The house was completely quiet, for the first time in 3 weeks. Ryan sat in it for a while, letting the quiet settle. He thought about the data set on his phone. 12 entries, precise and consistent. The record of an animal trying to communicate something in the only way available to him across the barrier of species and language and a closed door. He thought about the gap between what Storm had known and when they had understood it. The gap was 3 weeks. In those 3 weeks, Storm had not given up. Ryan deleted the data set from his phone. He did not need it anymore. He went back to bed. Storm did not stir when he passed.